Welcome back. So in this video, we're going to expand on the same concepts that we have been talking about in relation to peace. So continuing our conversation from the fact that what are the different practices that you can do in order to create peace within yourself and then emanate it into the world. There's one very important thing that you need to remember is that you have to cultivate the belief and hold the belief that you can, as a person, impact the world. So, one person and one love, one light can change the world. So, you have to be strong enough to believe in your own capacity to change the world. You need to think about working for the highest good, you know, and doing things that are good for you, good for others, and good for the highest good. The reason is that when we are too focused on our own self, that's when um, the most the most pain comes, and the distress is because sometimes we are thinking too much about ourselves. So pain is only, you can experience pain. Where do you experience pain exactly, right? You experience pain within yourself, right? So it comes normally when some of your own expectations are broken, or when you are not getting the way that you want, or things are a bit harder for you. But what if we take our focus from within ourselves and out into the world, and we focus on the things, that good things that we can do for the world and for other people. And when you shift your focus like that, and you're not thinking too much about yourself, then there's a sudden release that comes, because you release all the tension, and you feel that relief, because now it's not just about yourself. So it's about everyone. And so you can take a deep breath, and you can relax and take yourself lightly. So one important aspect of creating inner peace is to sometimes being able to laugh on yourself and take yourself lightly, and not being a perfectionist. So when we have unrealistic expectations from us, or even from others, that can lead to a state of restlessness. So you need to be able to live in gratitude and cultivate that sense of gratefulness within yourself, and acceptance of the shortcomings and of the perfections of people, of processes, of this world, and work around that, right? Work with that and work around that to really find the best outcomes that you're looking for in your life. And the important thing over here is to remember that how kindness can actually help you change your state. So there was a time once when I was feeling very upset. I was feeling down, and like, I didn't know how to make myself feel better. Then I saw someone who was feeling even worse than I was feeling, and they were in a much more difficult situation than I was in. And I asked myself, at that time, I did feel gratitude for where I was, because when you see people who are going through much harder things than yourself, you do get that sense of gratitude within yourself, that you should be grateful for where you are. And in that moment, when I felt that, I also really felt that need or that desire to help that person. And I end up sending them that which they needed, and I helped them at that time. And as a result of that, there was a lot of there's a big sense of relief and peace that came over me, and as I helped that person, and that person also showed appreciation after that, and they sent me a gift in return. These little things, and that whole interaction sort of like took over our emotions, you know, rather than being stuck in our emotions and problems. We actually transform those emotions and problems into that beautiful interaction that we had. So that difficulty or those emotions that we were going through actually resulted in us being so much more closer to each other, you know, and helping each other, loving each other, feeling compassionate and for each other and caring for each other, right? So this is one thing that, you know, when you are feeling down or when you're feeling upset, you know, it's, what if you try to do an act of kindness for someone, you know? An act of kindness can really take you out of your state of emotions that were challenging, and you will suddenly feel happy and uplifted because, you know, we as humans, we do mirror each other. So when you make someone's day, you know, they feel happy, and when you look at them, you mirror them. We have mirror neurons in our brain, and as they are happy and you look at them, you start to produce the same state within yourself. You start to produce the same chemicals, as far as biologically the chemistry is concerned. You release the same chemicals, which are, you know, chemicals which help us relax and be happy, endorphins, and, you know, plus, you know, we have neurons in our brain that help us then mirror the state of that person, and that helps us feel better. You know, sometimes you can be so caught up, you know, in your inner world, or maybe there are circumstances or there are situations that, you know, at the moment, you may or may not be able to completely control them. So if there is still a divine time for something to happen and you're waiting, then, you know, if you make up someone else's day, you can create that state outside in. There are two ways of creating the state of peace. It can be created inside out, or it can be created outside in. And inside out, you can create it just the way we spoke before, by balancing your emotions, by taking care of yourself, by creating that inner bliss point within yourself. But you can also create it outside in. If you're finding it hard to create within yourself, you create it in someone else out there, you know, one person, one act of kindness, right? And you create that feeling in someone else where they're feeling better, they're feeling happier. And then you mirror their state. You look at them and you feel happy because of them and for them, and because they are feeling happy, right? And that creates the same emotion within you. So these are just two ways of getting to the same destination, you know? And this is what we need to understand, and both are beautiful in their own way. So that's how you create peace in the world as well. So, you know, you may visit one sick person, you may give someone something that they need, you may train a child in, you know, some kind of skill that you have. And in a similar manner, you can do small things. You can share the knowledge you have, you can share the good thoughts you have with other people, and it is then, you know, one act of kindness, or, you know, one person at a time, that we start to change the world.